Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Sunset Gower Studios here in Hollywood, California on Universal Broadcasting Network, radio and TV, and every Thursday on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel KCAA on AM 1050 and now on FM 106.5 and soon to be on iHeartRadio. Thank you very much. And that's the channel with Wolfman Jack, Stephanie Miller, and Dave Ramsey. So, lots and lots of ways to splatter you with hope and happiness, because that's what this show is about. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words at all. No Kardashian talk through the entire hour. Instead, I'm going to ask you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happier 88% of the time. And so we have guests and topics that cover all the ways that you can find some more balance in your life. And the first thing I want to do today is wish you the International Women's Day. We're going to cheer with the applause. Oh, and he's ready to go. Here we go. Whoa! Happy International Women's Day. Yes, March 8th is the day, the one day, even though we matter all the time. But today we're specially focusing on it, and today is even more special on International Women's Day because I am inviting all of you to tune in for a free live stream tonight at 7 Pacific Standard Time. We're going to break some Guinness World Book records for the number of people live streaming for the largest global women's community event, thanks to my friend Michelle Patterson and Unify, Lauren at Unify, put together this massive, massive event. And they've invited me to actually sing my very first fast song to close out the event. So that's in Irvine, and if you stay to the end of the show, there's going to be Asian Oprah giveaway on how you can get some free comp tickets worth $39. So stay tuned to the end of the show for that. And you can tune in live stream for free. So 7 p.m. is a date on the computer, on your phone, and go to womennetwork.com. womennetwork.com, and there you will press the register button to be counted in the over 200 countries of women who will be live streaming to connect with you, with me, and with each other. And so I wrote a song. The first time I'll be performing it, it's called I Am Woman, I Am Free. And it's for this occasion that I wrote the song. So I'm excited about it. I've never written a fast song, so we'll see what happens. And we will have some fun dancing at the end. So please do tune in tonight. But today, I have a very special guest. Last week, we talked about taxes because I know it's not exactly hope and happiness, but I wanted to give you some tips about it. Next week, we're going to talk about posture and how you can feel better about yourself. Today, my guest is someone that my big brother, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, asked me to bring on because of his fabulous work right now in Costa Rica. And he's actually someone that I met years ago and kind of, I have a photographic memory, just no memory stick lately. But it was wonderful to reconnect with him. He is a successful conscious entrepreneur, Gerard Powell is a motivational speaker, thought leader, and spiritual influencer whose path has answered one of life's most interesting questions: does money buy happiness? He's also the CEO and founder of the Rythmia Life Advancement Center, located in Costa Rica, a revolutionary rehabilitation center that offers clients a money-back guarantee if they do not feel any different before leaving the rehab. Please welcome to the studio, Gerard Powell. Hi, Gerard.
Hi, Doc.
Or I'll call you Jerry from this point on, because that's how I met you. So happy to have you on the show. And as with most of my guests, the first question I ask, I have a friend. She does not have an answering machine. She has a questioning machine. And when you call her, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So, Jerry, who are you and what do you want?
I hope I can answer that well. But again, I'm Jerry Powell. My story is, I guess, unique to me, as everybody's is, but mine had some interesting twist to it. And so much as I was born in a pretty middle-class kind of upbringing in a very violent household with, I had a very, very hard time starting out as a young guy, and I didn't do well in school at all. I ended up getting kicked out of school.
Okay.
I got kicked out of a couple of schools and eventually quit. Last grade that I completed was the 11th grade. Then I got in some legal problems, some criminal problems, and before I was 20, I'd been to jail. So I came out, and I thought, it was at a time when college educations meant everything, and having any kind of legal history was terrible. And so I had no education, no money. I didn't have rich parents. I'd been to jail.
Not a great start according to the American dream.
Yeah, it wasn't an optimal. A betting man would have passed on me, right?
Yes.
And but I read some books, and I always, for some reason, knew that I knew something about the universe that other people didn't, and it was just a strange kind of knowing. But I read some of these books, putting some of these things into action, and the next thing you know, I was still in my 20s. I was a millionaire. I bought my first airplane in the 20s.
So hold on. People are going to want to know what book you read, because you went from like rags to riches. So was Napoleon Hill one of them, Think and Grow Rich? It wasn't?
I only read two books. I read The Magic of Thinking Big.
Uh-huh.
I read another book called Psycho-Cybernetics, which was by a plastic surgeon.
Interesting.
I read both those books, and I sort of believed it.
Uh-huh.
And I believed it because I didn't have a choice. There was no choice other than to believe, because my options weren't many at that time. So I went through a bunch of different things, but I hit my stride, and I started manifesting, and I made my first $1 million, and then I liked it, and I thought, I'll make some more, and I made some more, and made some more, and made some more. But the whole time, I knew this one thing about the universe, but at the same time, I was an unhappy, frustrated, mad person.
Okay. So was it conscious that you thought that money would bring you happiness? Was it a conscious thought? Yeah, that was like, okay, I had a rough start, but I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make oodles of money and find happiness. So was that like a subconscious, conscious?
Yeah, well, actually, it was like I sort of said, I got shortchanged here, but I'm to make up for it over here.
Okay, all right.
And I tried my hardest to really do. And then what started happening is I watched my bank account and it'd go like $1 million, $2 million, $4 million, one plane, one house, two planes, two houses, and this process kept going. Mm-hmm. And in my I took a company public and made $100 million, and then I lost all that money, and then did it again 2 years later, and sold a private company for $90 million.
Wow.
And like I was like ordering pizzas.
Wow.
Like, I'd start these things and I'd have this system that I'd use, and then boom, boom. So I'm like 40 years old. I have 26 cars, 6 houses, and not little houses, big houses, a couple planes. I have stacks of money in the bank because I asked for the last. I have a drinking problem. I'm injecting 5 sticks of Demerol a day, which is a very clean heroin. I have a wife of 17 years. I got 2 great kids. And I was a bad dad and a bad husband. And I was honestly suicidal. I was like, I did all this. I bought all this stuff. And, you know, my gun barrel was rusty. It was in my mouth every other day.
Wow.
I was truly suicidal.
Wow. And if you've just tuned in and you're listening to someone and wondering who's on the air with me today on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, and you're wondering how someone with 26 cars and gazillions of dollars in the bank could be putting a gun in his mouth every other day, you need to stay right here, because Gerard Powell is here sharing with us right now his history and his story. So you go from troubled youth to millionaire twice over,
Yes.
and suicidal. So
Yep.
so let me just sit with that for a second, because I know people who don't have a gazillion dollars are wondering, okay, there's definitely something wrong with you, because if I had that kind of money, I would be happy. So we have someone here, and last week on my tax show, Andrew talked about the clients he had that had a lot of money, and I asked him, was there a correlation between money and happiness? And he said, no. Just because you have a gazillion dollars, you're not. And so you're proving, nice segue today, you're proving that money does not buy happiness. Now, you may say that's different for you, but I've got to tell you that I've worked with thousands and thousands of people doing life balance coaching, and many of my clients make upwards of $4 or $5 million a year. And I will tell you that they don't come to me because they're happy. So there's listen up. Not saying that money is bad. I love money, because with money I can do a lot of creative things. But if you have a lot of money and you don't, help me finish that sentence, why were you not happy?
I wasn't happy. Money is the big magnifier. If you're unhappy and you get money, it magnifies it. If you're happy and get money, it magnifies it. If you're a jerk and you get money, it magnifies it.
You're
if
jerkier? I've never heard
money,
that.
it magnifies it.
Wow.
It's just the truth. And it magnified my sadness because it pointed to the void. Every time I would look around, and I had friends that were middle-class rich people. They're like $2 million a year people. And they'd be much happier than me. And they'd look at me and think, he sits on all this money, and look at his family. He has beautiful kids, and he has a beautiful wife, and he leads this life. And I was in such pain. I was in such pain because it didn't make sense. I looked at myself and went, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
Because everybody else is saying that I should be, and they look at me like, you must be the happiest guy in the world.
You should
and
be.
I was barely hanging on to life.
Wow.
And so what was interesting, and now since then, there's all kinds of studies that show
Yes.
in the United States what percentage of your happiness meter is attributable to money. And it's such a slight percentage, but nobody knew it. Like, when I never heard of those studies, I was just told rich people are happy.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Right.
So,
There's let me interrupt for 1 second, because there's a really interesting Fortune magazine statistic that I use when I speak, which is Americans are, let's see, it was 75% more affluent now in America than we were 50 years ago. So 75% of us are more affluent than we were 50 years ago. And yet we are at an all-time high, like over 86% of life dissatisfaction. Interesting. So there's another statistic that just says if we have more money, and I love the way you said it's a magnifier. So if you're miserable and you have a lot of money, you're more miserable. I love that. Thank you. I'm stealing that, by the way.
Okay,
So so here you are, you're miserable. And then what happened?
I had a real big house, like a 20,000 square foot house in Pennsylvania, and I had a bar that was about 5,000 square feet, and I was in my bar, and I was doing a stick of Demerol, and I managed to hide it from my kids for forever. And my one son came down the elevator, and I didn't hear the ding, and he walked into the bar, and I was laying on the couch, and I looked up, and he saw the syringe, and I saw the look in his face, and I said, "That's it." And then the next minute, one of these TV ads came on for a rehab center in California, in Malibu, and I called my pilot before I even called the rehab center. I called my pilot and I said, "Tomorrow I'm going to, and I don't know where we're going to land, but we're going to land somewhere." And then I called the rehab center and said, "Hey, I'm coming," and that's what started
The journey back to you.
for me. That's what started it. And
So you went to the rehab center, and
Yeah,
I love this
rehab
part of
center.
the story. This is how you found my brother. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I went to the rehab center, and I actually was running out of fuel in Salinas, Kansas, and I ran out of drugs too. So the pilot put down in Salinas, and I'm like, I walked up to the lady at the desk in the private terminal, and like she's impeccably dressed and everything, and I asked her for heroin, and she called the cops, and I'm like, I watched her call the cops, and I'm like, okay, back in the plane, and we just got out of there. It was terrible, and we stopped and I think we got gas in another town in Iowa, I forget where, or in Iowa, I think we got gas. So like this whole thing happened. I land in thing, and I'm supposed to go to this rehab, and I end up getting waylaid for a couple of days and going on a bender in Malibu, and then they finally come and get me from the rehab. They put me in the rehab, and I'm there a couple of weeks, and this is a $100,000 a month place, and I'm like,
$100,000 a month.
yeah, it was an
Okay.
expensive place.
Yeah.
It was the most expensive one in the world at the time. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm not supposed to do Demerol. I understand that. And they're on Sunday, I had a choice to go to the mall or go to this place called Agape. And I said, "What is Agape?" And one of the guys said, "Oh, it's like a church." And I said, "Okay, I'll go to the mall." And I went to the mall. And I went to the mall. And finally, I said, I'm sick of this mall. Let's go to Agape. And I walked in there, and I heard this guy talking, and I wasn't even sure if I liked it, but it struck hard Catholic at the time, born in Catholic schools, Catholic life, everything.
Right.
So I hear this thing, but anyway, I wanted to keep going back because, this guy talked in a way that I never heard before. So I went back every Sunday while I was in rehab. And one of the last Sundays, I'm like, I want to meet this guy. So, I have tricks of how to meet people and stuff. So I ended up meeting him, and I went to lunch with him, I think, or breakfast with him or something. And we got along, and I immediately liked him because he's one of the most likable guys you'll ever meet, right? And I said, okay, when I got out of rehab, I said, I'm going to stay in California, because I want to hear more of what this guy has to say. And he gave me a wonderful reverend. He assigned her to me, Reverend Kathleen McNamara, and I had her a couple times a week. And then I was in therapy a couple times a week with Dr. Jeff McNary, this other wonderful doctor. And this went on for 4 or 5 years. And I got better, but I still had a problem with drinking. I wasn't doing any more Demerol, never did it again. But I still had a problem with drinking, and my problem would showcase itself with women. So I would have like many girlfriends and this kind of thing.
That's
And,
why. That's why we never dated.
so I learned all these metaphysical things, but I heard them, but I didn't feel them, you know? So I was in the Philippines on vacation, and a friend of mine's a shaman from Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And she saw on Facebook that I was in the Philippines, and she was going to a no-speak retreat in Manila. And she said, "Hey, Jerry, I'm coming through. I was in this island called Boracay." She said, "Let me stop in and visit with you for a couple days on my way through." And I said, "Absolutely," because she's a wonderful woman, and always wanted to help me. And she said, "Listen, you know, I've watched you on your journey." She's somebody who wanted to date me but thought I was too crazy. She said, I've watched your journey, and
I'm
I've
keeping my
spared
mouth shut.
myself from your grasp. I've managed to elude, you know, the grip of death, and I stayed away from you. But if you could ever fix yourself, you'd be a great guy to date. Da 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 da. And she said, a friend of mine went to Costa Rica and did plant medicine, and it fixed him. But I doubt you would do it because it would be uncomfortable for you. And that
did it. Yeah.
That made me mad, and I wanted to man up, and so I went down. I did this plant medicine, and during my experience at that night, I all of a sudden I got it, and I got shot out of the universe, and I looked back and I saw life things that happened to me as a child, that situation with women, and it was like I got molested by my father, but I never knew it. But I watched a video of it on this plant medicine, and I was like, that explains everything. I wasn't upset. I was like, thank God. I thought it was me.
Right.
You know, I thought that it was me, but this happened to me and made me this way.
Okay,
And
hold on. We skipped a little on the video, so I want to make sure my listeners got that very important part of the story. So you took the plant medicine and you had a little bit of an out-of-body experience, and you watched the video of your childhood where you realized you had been molested that you didn't really know, correct?
Yeah,
And
I watched in 3D, Technicolor,
wow.
even down to the stains on the carpet. I haven't seen this house in 40 years.
Wow.
And the stains that were there was just live. And then I got to see my father, who was passed, and I said, "Dad, this didn't happen to me." He said, "Yeah, it did, and it happened to him too."
Oh,
so
wow.
this was something that went in
your
my
family, and the family
was just
dysfunction,
just crazy.
which we all have.
But I wasn't upset.
Mm-hmm.
I was thrilled. And then because it explained the crazy.
Right.
And what's sad is most people that have had something like that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and all children have had a traumatic experience that made them separate from themselves, they just don't remember it.
Right,
but
right.
some children, it's being left at the mall for 20 minutes longer than... But everybody has this thing that separates.
There's actually science and statistics that support what you're saying, that 7 out of 10 of us have 7, like not like 2, like 7 out of 10 of us have grown up in dysfunctional homes. And it's, not to blame parents, because it's a family thing. It's an ancestral thing. It's like, I didn't, my family, I went through quite a bit when I was young and didn't realize until I was grasping the truth of what happened to me that, my mom had it even worse. So I tell my kids all the time, my only job was to do better than my mom did, and your only job is to do better than me, because it's just 7 out of 10. Oprah says it's 8 out of 10. So that's, that's norm. That's not the aberration. So I think what you're saying is absolutely, I'm going to jump on your choir here, which is it's important to acknowledge the pain that we all have, most of us, the majority of us have had in the past, but not to marinate. And what sounds like the unseen, unfelt, unacknowledged pain from your childhood was living through you in this ease with life, that what led you to the Demerol or the women or the alcohol, whatever it was, to fill what I call that friendly universe spaced hole, or if I'm going to drop the G bomb, the God shaped hole. Nothing can fill that lack until we have that aha experience or that spiritual zap that goes, oh wait, I am not what I went through, which is what you went through, right?
True.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing, or the thing that else that I saw after I saw that, the moon actually gave me a new heart. It's a funny story, but she did. I put the heart in me, and then I asked her how the universe worked, and it mimicked exactly the teachings that I learned, the non-Catholic teachings that I learned. And listen, if it was going to pick something, you have 42 years of Catholicism or a few years of metaphysics. It was going to pick the Catholic if it was just out of memory,
right.
But it picked the truth. And then when I got back and I saw the truth, the next day I was a different guy. I knew that there was only love in the universe, and it's the glue that holds everything together. When I was shot out and I looked back and I saw that every single thing is connected to this. So when I am inappropriate to this woman, I'm actually being inappropriate to myself. I never got that. I heard the words, but I never got it. And if I shortchange this guy at the grocery store, I'm shortchanging me. And so the whole thing, I got it, and then on my way back into my body, this was a 5-hour deal. On the way back into my body, it told me to go and take what I learned and then to bring it to people. So what I did is 2 weeks later, I was back in Costa Rica, and I started looking for a resort to put all of the things that really made a significant difference in me, which were like meditation, good food, Michael Beckwith's programs, plant medicine, yoga, massage, all the creature comforts in a very high-end resort. So I bought a place from the J.W. Marriott people, and I bought a nice place and decided to do this thing and to make it my life's mission, because I had enough. I wasn't a rich guy, but I had enough money to make it for my statistical life expectancy plus 20 years, so living nice. So like I was good to go. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I chose to do this because what's so funny is that when you walk down the street and everybody's outside is smiling, I know that 80 to 90% of their insides are dying. And to see these people who are in this quiet pain, it's a quiet pain. And I just wanted to be able to create a place where they could come in and a week later leave, because with me, I had to do all these things one at a time. I had to learn about meditation, learn about yoga, learn about food, learn about this, learn about that. And they were in sequence, not parallel. And to do them all in one place in parallel, it just has this thing where people by their third day are broken down, crying, and they leave a different person. And this is like the greatest gift that anybody could ever give me. Is actually the ability to help these people that need this help. That's the gift of the thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I've been invited. I'm actually going to come and do a week of balanced Tai Chi Gong, and we're going to have add that to the program, because I know he's going to like it. But we're trying to figure out a time. Yeah, absolutely. And it's that time where we have to take a break, but we are going to be right back with Jerry Powell, who is talking about this amazing thing called his life and the path that he took from troubled youth to a ton of money and wealth and success, and extreme silent suffering. I like the way you said that, and pain, and the journey that he took. And now he's bringing all of that and finding a purpose in bringing it to all of you. So any of you who are in that silent pain, stay tuned, and we're going to talk about how to get in touch with this center and what you can do, and a couple of Asian Oprah giveaways on that too. So it is time to thank those who make this show possible. So we'll be back in 2 and 2. Peace in and peace out. If you think you don't have the money to start your own business, then I have fantastic news. Now you can own a business that has proven to be a phenomenal success all around the country with very little upfront investment. We're talking the Selfie Station. Selfie Station is a portable touchscreen photo booth that people and businesses book for weddings, corporate functions, trade shows, proms, promotional events, parties, and more. Selfie Station captures lifelong memories that can be emailed, texted, printed, personalized, and even uploaded to social media. You won't believe how much people will pay you to make your business the life of their party. It's the easiest income you'll ever earn and pays for itself in no time at all. You can start your own business right now. Let Selfie Station be the picture taker, icebreaker, and your moneymaker. Now, as a special introductory offer, you get $500 off the professional package. That's right, $500 off. SelfieStationPodcast.com. Type in the name of my show, Dr. Marissa, so I can get credit, please. Thank you. SelfieStationPodcast.com. That's SelfieStationPodcast.com. And get ready to make money today.
No way! I'm so cool. I'm so hot. I'm so hungry. I'm so full.
Did that complaining sound familiar to you? Hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, your cheerleader for hope and happiness 88% of the time. And they also call me the Asian Oprah. Well, I have a perfect app for you if you want to lose negative weight and stop complaining. Yes, the 21-day Fast from Complaining with Dr. Marissa app is now available. Every day you'll get a balanced tip that keeps you from complaining, as well as some sound effects. If you do complain and you press a button, it will give you a sound to keep you from complaining. And if you make it the entire day without complaining, you'll get a nice warm water. And there's a YouTube link also to help you not complain. And then at the end of the 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a good habit, you'll get an overall score as well as a way to post your triumph with your friends and family on Facebook. So don't complain, have fun, and remember it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
Peace in, peace out.
And we are back. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And wasn't she cute? That was my little great niece. And if you haven't gotten that app yet, please do. I spent a lot of money to bring it to you, the 21-day Fast from Complaining app. But this is not about the app today. It's about Jerry. And we are back. Gerard Powell is the CEO and founder of Rythmia. And it is a beautiful place in Costa Rica. Thank you, Jarvis. Pulled up some pictures of your facility there. It looks absolutely gorgeous. This is a place where you took all of the things that helped you move from a very rich, very unhappy, suicidal, drug-addicted, alcoholic, silent, not so silent, suffering individual into a person who loves his life 88% of the time, and who has a purpose to bring to and at cost. I was reading up a little on there, the places like this that offer the plant that you use to help you with the awareness, and programs like The Answer Is You and Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith's program, and yoga and food and a luxury setting. For a very, very affordable price. And I'm just going to shoot. I have an Asian Oprah giveaway today. It's not the car, but it is normally, and we're going to actually talk prices so that you can see the normal $999 a night because if you listen to the show and are an Asian Oprah giveaway receiver, it's $2.99 a month. So I forced him. I forced him to do it. $2.99 a night, and usually the stay is what, 10 days?
Well, it depends on what program that you're interested in. Like the Answer Is You is a 7-day program. We have a beautiful, amazing this cleanse it's called the Dead Sea Cleanse. It's a 10-day, which is actually 12-day hydrocolonic gravity-fed cleanse, where you truly clean your intestines, colon. It's like crazy. You vibrate when you're out. And the cleanse was actually in the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's why it's called the Dead Sea Cleanse. And it's really killer. That's a 12-day program. There's all different kinds of programs. There's plant programs, yoga programs. There's just a bunch of different things. But what one of the things that was interesting to me was that as a person above 40, if you ever had glasses, my finding God was tantamount to like, you ever walk around the house, like, where are my glasses? You get frantic, and the next thing you know, like after 15 minutes of even looking in the mirror, you still don't see them, and then all of a sudden you hit your head and they're on your face.
Yes.
That was like my finding God. It wasn't, I didn't get anything. I just got rid of some things that were clogging my view or clogging my ability to do it. You know?
Yes.
And it's still listen. This is no 100% slam dunk. You're fixed forever. This is still a process. It's just a real process. But if you look at I've never been happier in my whole life. There's never a day that I cashed a check where I was anywhere near this kind of, my normal set point now is a happiness that I've never even known in my heights before.
Right.
So,
even with the 26 cars and the how many planes and all that stuff, you were not. Well, I noticed a difference because I met you that I forgot about was 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was as long, maybe 6 years ago.
Probably.
Gosh, 6 years ago, and you are a different person. That's why I didn't even recognize you.
I know.
That's
People say that.
the biggest difference. You know, it's like it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my memory. You actually look completely different. And so, you know, I get to go work there. But for any of you who want a different kind of vacation. I mean, this is something, and I know a lot of people who are not happy, and vacations are they live for their vacations, and vacations are 2 weeks a year, or they live for their weekend. That's 2 days a week. So 5 days you're miserable, and 2 days you're sort of happy, and you got to ramp in and ramp out. So really, you're only happy for maybe a day out of 7, or happy for 2 weeks out of a year. And I have to be honest with you, my clients that say they live for their vacations, they don't even take vacations. Or if they take the vacations, they're sitting by the pool with their day timer, you know, mapping out what they're going to do next year. They're not even there. So that's why this was, you know, when my big brother asked me to have you on and I investigated, I'm like, wow, this is truly a good start point for anyone who is unhappy. Are you unhappy? If you're happy, let your face know. If you're not happy, you might want to check this out.
I find another interesting point too is that a lot of people, like, they go through life and be wrong with them. They're like, I don't know why I'm different. I don't know why I'm the only one unhappy. I don't know if you have any of those things that are just on the surface or just below the surface, that kind of feeling. It's such a great, that's a great person who is ideal for this place, because that getting just a little bit in that changes everything. It changes everything. And a lot of times, you know, you could be in Orange County and get the best book God ever wrote on how to get to yourself. And you run home from work and you're putting, you know, you're turning over the food in the frying pan and you're reading the book. You're not going to get it that way.
Right.
I mean, you can, miracles occur, but boy, it's hard. But when you're here, and there's nothing for you to do other than face yourself,
Right.
boy, it's a great time.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Good. That's
time.
great. Yeah, and there are a lot of people. It's that default place. You know, you're miserable. You have like an underlying feeling of misery, and it's, you know, I did career day this last week. Hi to all my new warping young minds students at Los Al High School. I've done career day for 13 years because I love to sit and look at students in the eye and say, you can accomplish anything and everything you want to in your life if you put your heart, mind, and soul to it. And JJ Bristow, my 10th grade math teacher, told me that, and I know that it's my job. And one of the reasons why I'm so shy, sarcasm is another service I offer. One of the reasons why I have this platform to speak from, because that voice, that stupid voice that says, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you'll never be enough, you'll never make up for the crap that you did, you'll never be happy. That is a lie. That is wrong. That is not the truth. And yet, we don't know that, because if we have role models or non-role models or grow up in a home where we don't have someone saying that, we don't know the truth of who we are. And so it is so important, if you don't feel like you are happy 88% of the time and you're about to book yourself into a vacation, look into this beautiful place that Gerard has provided for people to go and experience what has worked for him. Any last, or for usually at the end of the show, I ask, is there any people that you would like to give a love, peace shout out to who have helped support you in this journey that you have?
Absolutely. Like the Dr. Jeff McNary, who's saved my life, Reverend Beckwith, who saved my life, and Reverend McNamara, who saved my life. Those are my, my holy trinity of life saving. They're them, and I appreciate them greatly.
That's
greatly.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And how do we find out, I guess, Rythmia.com?
Yeah, Rythmia Life Advancement Center.
Okay.
You can just either Rythmia.com or Rythmia Life Advancement Center. If you just Google Rythmia, RYTHMIA, you're going to get us, and I'd love to see you here. And I've made a commitment to myself to be here at the center instead of in California, and make sure that everybody has the experience they came for.
Absolutely. So I'll let you listeners know when I'm going to be there. So if you'd like to come and take balanced Tai Chi Gong while you're experiencing, maybe we'll do it before the colonics. Well, I don't know. We'll figure out the order that between answers you and the colonics. But it's been a pleasure and a joy to have you. Now, the one thing that I know, my sister, my GMA, Wendy, who's listening, hi Wendy, ni hao, she was instrumental in having you on here. She wanted you to comment about baggage and emotional and physical baggage that people bring to.
It's interesting. Like when I look at that, and I just sort of envision people coming, like people have this vision that they're going to come here and like walk into a store and then leave with something. And really what they're doing is they're coming in with all their luggage and they're dropping it here. It's the exact reverse of what people, like, they're not coming here to get something, they're coming here to get rid of something. And that's the truth. It's really true.
Very powerful. Dropping your emotional baggage.
Yes.
That reminds me of a saying, I don't mind dating a guy that has emotional baggage as long as it's just carry-on size. But I guess I need to meet someone who's leaving your place, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Gerard, for coming and visiting with me on
Thank you
Take
so
My
much,
Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. And if you're just tuning in now and you missed most of the show, know that you can catch the entire thing again this Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my CNBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. Peace in, peace out. Jerry, Take
Thanks.
care.
Yep.
I will see you soon.
Bye, Doctor.
All right. Beautiful. Yeah, I've never wanted to go to Costa Rica, but now I do. And it is that time of the show when we do our balance bar, inviting you to join me for all the things that I get to play with and enjoy in this joyride of life. And the first thing, I did start the show off by inviting you. I'm going to say it again. I expect you to join my free live stream. It's not mine. My beautiful, fabulous, powerful friend, Michelle Patterson, who actually is instrumental in having me be on the advisory board for the California Women's Conference. For those of you who remember me on stage there, that's why I was. And she is just a powerhouse and has brought all these fabulous speakers together tonight. We will be on stage at UC Irvine, and I will be singing my new song. I'm going to actually read the lyrics because it's to celebrate International Women, and that's you. And it says, "Woman, don't you know the beauty that you really are? Woman, don't you know the power that you really are? You are free to fly. You're free to cry. Don't let them know. Wait. Do let it show who you are, free to be. Woman, mother, daughter, friend. Woman, lover, sister, friend. Woman, don't you know the beauty that you really are? You're free to love, free to rise above, free to be me, free to see. Woman, freedom, you are the one with the one. Woman, don't you know the beauty that you are? Woman, don't you know the power that you really are? Woman, don't you know that you're free to love? Woman." So if you want to hear that to some dance music, you got to tune in tonight at 7. And Asian Oprah giveaway. I am giving away 10 free comped tickets, $39 value, to go to the event in Irvine. So the first, you know what? I'm going to say 20. Michelle, don't kill me. 20 people to go on my site for, actually it's now drmarissa.tv. or drmarissa.online or for balance.org. Sign the guest book and say free women. And I'll give you the code words to use at the gate to get those free tickets. But all of you have no excuse to join in tonight at 7 p.m. PST. Go to womannetwork.com, register for the free live stream, and that is at 7 p.m. tonight to celebrate International Women's Day. The other thing is, it is day 8 on the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. And the tip for today is, when people ask me why I am so positive, it's easy. It feels better when I'm positive than when I'm whining and complaining and talking bad about you, me, and the world. And feeling good is one of my goals in this life without hurting self and others. Today is a lucky day not to complain. It's a homonym for good fortune in Chinese. So your homework for today is to find 8 people to compliment. Drive by complimenting. Mark your calendars tonight again, and then I will be teaching Balanced Tai Qigong at the Agape Revelation Conference, April 28th to May 1st. Join me in Sedona for my women's retreat, May 14th and 15th. And then next week is a highlight on health. Lori Soki is my guest, and she's a posture and pain specialist with practical tips on how to relieve all those aches and pains that come from aging. No, not aging, youthing. So tune in next week for another fabulous episode of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
Take away the part of me that wants to stay. It's all I want, to hear my life and sing along. For without it, there's no laughter No tears, the lonely days after. No memories for the way things used to be. Many a friend has stopped along the way. You know,